centers have been shut down in the hood. My alarm is going off. I'm going to get off this call in one. All of the trauma centers have been basically shut down in the hood. Why? Because they know brothers are running around because they're unconscious and stuck on stupid because they're being misled by people that work for Rome that don't know that's what they're doing. They're running around shanking one another and shooting one another, and these people need body parts. But they're not only taking body parts from melanin-rich people, they're taking body parts from so-called white folks also. They're not necessarily getting as what they need as far as the pituitary glands and pineals, but they're still robbing these people too. Okay, they need kneecaps, they need shin bones, they need organs, they need skin cells, they need all kind of stuff from people because they're trying to stay alive. Well, they should have got it when they got it because, again, melatonin is an anti-aging product, and melanin-rich people got lots and lots of it. So hold that thought. Hold that thought. Don't take us out to music. I want to hang up and call back, but just in case I can't get back through, I'm going to put this call on hold. Don't go anywhere. Just stand by. Okay, I'm hoping that I'm online at this point. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I hope you can. I'm going to hang up this other call. Let me swap calls. I'm getting ready to hang up this call. Hopefully the other line is open, but I am in the queue, so, I'm going to hang up this one right here. Okay, am I on? I hope I'm on. Can I be heard? Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, thank you for your patience and your tolerance. I had to get off my minutes. Okay. If enough brothers continue to kill themselves, this is one of the reasons why a lot of people are being locked up and they're shipping them all over the place and shipping them to prisons that are outside of the city and state that they were arrested in so that their people can lose track of them and can't go see them because they're too far away and this and that and the other business. Because if they notice that nobody's writing, nobody visits, nobody puts money on the books, it's like, oh, nobody would notice if he came up missing. These people are stealing people's people, but they always have. They have the nerve to call melanin-rich people criminals, okay? You steal a couple of cigarettes or a pizza or some damn potato chips and you're a criminal, so they can say, oh, what's the color of crime? It's what you call black. No. The color of crime is what you call black when you know that so-called black means white. These are people that have stolen whole empires from people, whole nationalities from people, whole languages from people, stole all kinds of children from people, stealing whole, for lack of better words, tribes of people from people. Who in the hell is the biggest criminal running around here? Stealing identities from people. And, somebody goes and steals something petty, and they call them criminal. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying. So, back to what I was saying. When it comes to this, I'm going to switch back to serotonin. Serotonin is that neurotransmitter I was talking about that you get released during the day by being out in daylight and sunlight. And it regulates your moods. And if you have a deficiency of serotonin, you will get depressed. Anybody that has a depression problem, them fools need, especially if you're melanin rich, you need more sunlight. And if you get too much serotonin, it will cause nausea and migraine headaches. Now, keep this in mind. If you're having a problem with depression, in addition to the serotonin that you get during the day, you also need the melatonin that you get at night. So try this from now on. when you go down in the evening for your quote-unquote quickening, I like quickening. I don't like the word sleep. I don't like the word rest. Sleep and rest mean death. Bed means, I'm trying to remember, it has something to do with a dwelling of the devil or something. So I don't particularly like those words, rest, bed, sleep. You know what I'm saying? I say I'm going down for my quickening because a quickening helps you amplify your resonance or your frequency at which you vibrate, which, amplifies or puts you more in accord with the resonance of the omniscience, of omnipresence and omnipotence that everybody keeps calling God, for lack of better words. And this pineal is your direct link to what you call God. And it is in its temple. You guys are all going to the temple and going to the churches trying to find God out there. You got to look and find the Creator inside. And I was watching a movie a while back, and when I watched it, I was like, whoa, that's what happened to me. Now, peep this. If you have heard of, now, people that are fans of this show hate this movie, but there's a movie called, damn, it just flew out of my head just that fast. When it comes back to me, I'll give it to you. This will be for people that are visual. What was the name of this flick? Because, it happened to me like that, and it's a good visual for people that kind of need to see it. Oh, God, what was the name of this movie? I always try to do movies for people that are visual. The Last Airbender. The Last Airbender. Now, people that are into the cartoon and the cartoon movie, The Last Airbender, that shit is dropping it. But only for people that can see what's being dropped. Okay? Now, of course, they do what they do. They make these people pale complexion. Even the Asians that are doing a lot of these anime and whatever, even they have to put this stuff out so that all the so-called Japanese characters look like what you call white people because, they know these fools won't let stuff out unless you're plastering their image on everything. You know what I'm trying to say? Which kind of reminds me of the individual. And that individual that was an animationist that was doing cartoons, I asked him to call me. And you need to email me if you can't call me because it's long distance. Email me your phone number and I will call you. You can send the email to Yaffa, Y-A-F like Friday, F like Friday, A, B like boy, E-Y, and then the number 1. Yaffabay1 at att.net. For the animationist that contacted me on the show last week, I wanted you to call. It may be that you can't call because it's long distance, so email me a number. Put on there what state or country you're in so I can determine the best way for me to contact you, and I'll call you because there's some more information I wanted to give you, and I meant to do it at the beginning of the show, and I knew I was forgetting something, but I'm so far past it now I can't go back because people are going to be like, wait a minute, hold up, get back where we were. I can't go there. But this cartoon series and movie called The Last Airbender, even the animated one is dropping it. But there's something that happened on the real-life movie version, and people that follow the show hated the movie because they didn't even get the cat's name right in the movie. It's like, how you going to make a movie about somebody and you got the dude's name all jacked up? At any rate, there's a part of the movie that reminds me of the first time I encountered this other eye sitting in this cave. And in the movie, for you guys that are visual, the little boy, and he's got all these tattoos on his head. And when he's coming into his power, his whole head lights up. And that's the way it is for people. Melanin-rich people and people that are not melanin-rich that have done the spiritual work. But most people didn't do the work because they were too busy trying to kill us off to do their work. Now, when he realizes in this movie, and I'm going to have to give a part of the show, and I hate doing this for people that got to go see it, but I got to tell you so you know what you're looking for. There's a part in this movie where he finds out that the whole brotherhood of Buddhist monks that he was growing up with and learning from had been killed off and wiped out. while he was asleep, like melanin-rich people in America are asleep. While we're asleep, the whole world is getting killed off. In this movie, again, almost like Lady Ma'at would say, what story ain't our story? People like, you black people want to always make everything about you. Well, no, everything is not about us, but half of these movies are about us. Because the only story worth telling is the nigga story. How about that? That's the only story to tell. Now, in the movie, when he finds out that all of these people have been killed, he runs off because he wants to be alone. And when he runs off, you don't know at first that this is what's happening, but he winds up and it's broad daylight, okay? He winds up in a meditative state. And in this meditative state, which you don't really realize at first that that's what it is, he goes into this cave. Now I'm describing your pineal for you, and I'm giving you this because I'm going to tell you kind of how it happened with me. He goes into this cave, and in here it's dark. He looks ahead, and they show all this darkness. And then all of a sudden, inside this darkness, this eye opens up. And he gets startled. He starts to run out of the cave. And then he stops, and he turns, and he goes back. This is the concept that I call, for lack of better words, the fear of God. And I'm saying all this to take you guys to the Ark of the Covenant. Now, when he goes back in and he takes the time to sit and communicate with this eye, the eye starts to guide him and direct him and tell him what he needs to do, where he needs to go, and gives him all the instructions. Now, eventually, this one eye becomes two eyes, and I don't know if it's the same sitting. I think it takes time. And then the two eyes becomes a winged serpent. A winged serpent that most people call a dragon, okay? Now, I don't know how many of you have ever seen a picture image of a so-called Nagas. The Nagas, N-A-G-A-S. The Naga, if you see a picture of a Naga sitting in a Buddhist meditation posture. They're these melanin-rich people, and my son was doing some research back in the day, and he had found whenever they're doing something and they don't want you to know that the people they're showing you are what you call black, when they're doing a sketch and they're showing a statue or a painting of some work of art, if the hair is made in these little spiraling peppercorns or looks like a bunch of little spirals sitting on the head, that is their way, even though all the features are aquiline or whatever, that is their way of showing you that this is not what appears to be what it is, what you're calling a white person, but this is how you know it was a hidden way of showing you what you currently identify as a black person, okay? Now, the Naga imagery has what looks like 7 serpents standing up around the head, okay? Just kind of like extending from the entity sitting in its meditative posture, all right? That's one of the reasons why they destroyed the twin Buddhas, and a sister sent me an email of where this was, but that's one of the reasons why they destroyed the twin Buddhas, and now you have UNESCO financing the rebuilding of them, and you can trust and believe when they are done rebuilding the sitting Buddhas that they blamed the Taliban for, and you can trust and believe the Taliban probably didn't have a damn thing to do with it. Most likely you can trace that right back to the same people I've been pointing. All roads lead to Rome. You go look right back there, and that's probably where it's coming from. But by the time UNESCO is done financing the rebuilding of these twin Buddhas, they're probably going to look like 2 what you currently call white boys or white girls or a brother and a sister. I think it was a male and a female. I don't recall. I think it was 1 male, 1 female. But the point that I'm making is this. It started out as 1 eye. It became 2 eyes, and then eventually, ultimately, it wound up being this very melanin-rich, indigo, fuscus-colored, dark-complexioned, what you identify as black, winged serpent. All of you have that. And that's one of the things they were talking about in the so-called Bible about snipping the wings.